Hi guys, and welcome to my very first YouTube video. Today I'm going to be doing a fall/autumn look for you guys. It's very easy, very capable for anyone to do. If you do want to see how I get this look, then please keep on watching. So by this point I've already prepped my skin. I've used the Pixi Rose Oil Blend Nourishing Face Oil. This is a very good oil if you have dry skin or normal skin. It's very hydrating and very moisturising. I have had quite a few issues with my skin previously and it was very dry and dull. This has really helped hydrate and bring my skin back to life. I've also used the NYX Angel Veil Primer, and this is in my T-zone and where my pores are largest, which is also on my chin. At the minute I'm just concealing and shaping up my brows with the MAC Select Cover Up Concealer in the shade NC42, as well as my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Medium. I'm just blending that all together at the minute with my beauty blender just to make sure that everything is blended nicely. I'm now going in with my RCMA translucent powder. This is not the no colour powder, this is just the translucent. I did want the no colour powder, but by accident bought the translucent powder. Nevertheless, I'm very happy with the results. It leaves me with no flashback and isn't hard for me to dust away. I have dry skin, so that can sometimes be an issue, but with this translucent powder, I'm very happy with the results. Just dusting away any of the excess powder with a normal brush. For today I am using the Morphe 350M palette. I've just picked up a light brown warm shade and I'm just going to run that through my crease using windscreen wiper motions. Just going to bring you guys in a bit closer so you can see exactly what I'm doing. For some reason my camera does sort of blur out or put a film over my face when it is quite far out. Just so you can see exactly what I'm applying and exactly how I'm blending. I have brought you in a bit closer. I do go back and forth quite often. I just want everything to be very diffused. I have now introduced a new colour, which is a light plum shade. I'm just going to run this again through my crease on top of the brown. Again, I just want it to be very blended and diffused. I am going to be adding quite a few shades to this look. So I want everything to be laid correctly and to be blended really nicely into one beautiful sort of sunset looking shade. So the brushes that I've just used for the light brown shade, I did use the Sigme E35, the large blending brush, and I'm now using the Sigme E40 to apply the light plum shade. I do go back and forth between brushes. I think they're both amazing for blending. I would highly recommend to buy. I'm now using the Makeup Geek Defined Crease brush. I'm now packing it on a dark plum colour. This brush is very soft and not very dense, but it still picks up a lot of product. It's very similar to the Cosette brush that Nika Tutorial uses, I believe, as to why I had bought it. As you can see, it does pack on a lot of product and really easily blends through the crease. I am trying to focus on the outer V though, because this will sort of add to the sort of smoky effect that I'm going for. I do go back and forth with this brush as well and the same plum shade, just to make sure that everything is pigmented enough and the colours showcase themselves beautifully to make sure that the look ultimately is what I desire for it to be. Now I'll go back in with the Sigma E40, again just blending all the colours together to make sure it is all blended nicely. I do apologise for my voice. I just want to say I'm just getting over the flu, so I am quite congested. Also, if you do see me looking away and laughing, it's because my mum has no sense of privacy whatsoever and decides to waltz in whenever she wants. So I had to tell her to go away repeatedly, but that's what I'm doing. So sorry about that. Also, if you see me focusing a lot or looking directly in the camera's eye or the lens, solely because my camera doesn't like to focus very well. It does go out of focus quite often, so I do have to look in the lens to make sure it focuses on the actual eye so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm now going in with a brush that I bought from Amazon from a 10-piece set for I believe £10. Just using that because I use that for my translucent powder, and I'm just trying to blend the crease shade in with the translucent powder so it's more diffused, going upwards towards the brow. Again, with the petite brush, I'm just going back in with that plum shade to deepen up the crease, just to make sure that the colours aren't lost when I'm blending. I do go back and forth, as I said before, to make sure that no colours are lost and to make sure every colour shines on its own. I've now gone in with a smaller brush. It's the E30 Sigma pencil brush, and I've taken a dark brown warm shade. This is for me to create the essential smoky look. I don't like using blacks in these situations just because they can get quite messy. I just believe the safer option is using a dark brown. It still showcases the look as beautifully as a black would. It's just a lot easier for new starters or beginners, and you can still achieve the same look that you would get with the brown. It's just easier to apply, and if there are any mistakes, it's easier to rectify. Ultimately, what I'm trying to do at this point is try to create these sort of outward eyeshadow to make it look like it's going to form into a wing, just because when it comes to doing a wing later on, it will be a lot easier for me to create it. For me personally, my wings are hit and miss. I can have a really good day and it looks beautiful, or a really bad day and it's a hot mess. So I like to try and create the wing without doing a wing liner with my shadow beforehand, just because it gives me a good guideline for my wing later on, and ultimately just makes it a lot easier for me. So again, just going back in, blending back and forth. If you see me bobbing my head like an idiot, it's obviously because there's a really good song on in the background. I do apologise for that. But yeah, as you can see, I am pretty happy with my look. You'll probably get a raise of the eyebrow in a few seconds, maybe a double wink, you never know. Those are two of my trademarks. I hope they're not too annoying. But yeah, right now I'm just going in with my Morphe 350S palette. I've just picked up a light pink shimmer shade and a sort of plum dark shimmer shade as well. Just popping that on my lid 3/4 of the way. I do have quite small lids. I have almond shaped eyes, I believe, so it's really hard to showcase sort of shimmery lid shades, so I do try and bring it out as far as possible just so you can see as much of it as my lid can possibly take. I do go in a second with a sort of more brown shimmer shade as well, just because I feel like it adds to the more sultry, seductive look that I'm going for. I don't want it to be too light or bubblegum pink. I do want it to be quite seductive and sexy at the same time. So again, just blending through those edges for you so that everything looks very nicely blended. I don't want there to be any harsh lines. I just want everything to look very effortless. So I do keep going back and blending quite a lot. I did have to cut out a lot of the blending for you guys so you didn't get bored to death. But yeah. Oh, there's the brow raise for you. Yeah, so that's the brow raise. So now I'm going in with the liner. I'm not going to use a liquid liner just because I don't want it to overpower or take away from the shadow. I'm just going to use a normal pencil. This is the Rimmel London 061 Jet Black pencil. I am going to create a wing with this. You'll see how easy it is for me to create a wing now that I've got sort of like a base or guideline with my shadow. I don't do this too neatly or precise. I do want it to be quite messy. As I said, I want it to be a really sultry, smoky look. So ultimately, I will smudge out with some shadow as well to make it a lot more smoky. Apologies for the camera angle when doing the wing, as I'm not very sort of self-aware with cameras at the minute. It is my first video, but this is ultimately what I ended up doing. For me, that was perfect. Probably the first time that I got a wing liner done straight away. I didn't have to edit or elongate at all. I was just very happy with how it turned out. But yeah, so I think just it's a nice alternative sometimes to go in with a pencil liner and give it a little bit of a smudge, as opposed to going in with a thick jet black liquid liner. And I just think sometimes it can be a lot nicer, a little bit more classy. And a little bit sort of like more rough, like sort of Rimmel London, really like cute atomic blonde model looking look. I don't know what I'm saying, but that's what I'm going for, if that makes any sense to you. So here I'm going in with the short shader brush by Sigme. This is the E20, and I'm just smudging in some black eyeshadow. I'm not doing too much smudging. As I said, black eyeshadow does scare me quite a bit. I don't want to ruin the look at all by going too overboard and then ultimately creating a bit of a mess. So I have gone in, I've made the liner a bit thicker, tried to smudge out as much as possible, but I am happy with how it turned out in the end. As I said, I don't want to go too overboard and end up overpowering the shadows that I've used. I don't want to overpower any of the shades that I've used in this look whatsoever. I just want to still have a look so it's still very sort of cat-eyed and sexy, but I don't want it to be too black or too smudged. So here's me checking out the eye. I'm very, very, very happy with it. I just wanted to do really sultry, sexy, seductive, and flirty at the same time. I didn't want to incorporate the pink, so it was very fun and flirty, but I also wanted the smokiness to add sort of a bit of class and sophistication to the look. But yeah, really happy with it. I did go back in with with the shimmer shades on a eye shading brush by Sigme. It's the E55. I sprayed a bit of my NYX Dewy Finish on it, just to sort of intensify the pigment, just to make sure it was as shimmery as it could possibly be. I added some Lilly lashes. These are in the style Tease. These are my absolute favourites. I love wispy lashes. I did have to add them off camera. I did recently clean them and they were slightly damp, so they were giving me a couple of problems trying to get them on. Nevertheless, they still look amazing. I've just blended in my natural lashes with the Falsies with the Big Colossal, or the Big Shot Colossal Voluminous Mascara, I believe by Maybelline, just to make sure that everything is nicely blended. With regard to lashes, I love lashes that make your eyes look very doe-eyed and very like. I love wispiness. These are the Miami lashes by Lilly. Lashes are my favourites, hands down. So I'll just give you a little preview of how I did the other eye. It's exactly the same as the eye that I've done previously. So I haven't gone too much in depth with this for you, but you can see the difference that a lash can make, as well as some liner. I just think it makes all the difference in the world. So what I'm going to do now is move on to my face. I do use my Tarte concealer before my foundation in this instance, solely because I did have some bad dark circles and some eye bags. If I'm having a day where I feel like I do have a lot of darkness under my eyes, I will go in with concealer first, just to highlight the under eyes before foundation. You don't have to do this step. It is completely and totally optional. If you do suffer with dark circles, it may be helpful to do this, or perhaps use a colour corrector beforehand. I don't colour correct solely because I feel like the colour correctors that I've used personally haven't really helped me. The highlighter or Tarte concealer is enough for me to go ahead and sort of finish my look. So I do use 3 foundations today. I'm using the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation, the cool tone version, and it's the colour C6. This is Soft Sable. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but this is my favourite foundation that I've ever used in my life, or at least drugstore or high street. It's so pigmented. I don't want to say pigmented, but very, I can't explain it. It's got such a good formula. I'm really happy with how dewy it is. I love wet look foundations, and yeah, I'm just really happy with the fact that a brand has come out with more than 4 shades. Obviously we aren't all the same shade. You can't say someone who's light, medium or dark are all the same skin tone or the same shade. There is a variety. I did mix in that L'Oreal foundation with the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour full coverage foundation in the shade 60 Caramel, and the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade 350. Why do I keep saying shade? I have no idea. I just like the mix of all 3 foundations. I can never really find my exact skin tone. Even the L'Oreal has such a nice variety. I do have to mix quite a few. I have a really weird skin tone. It is very dull. I'm not quite sure why. But yeah, it's just easier for me to use more than 1, and in this case 3. I'm now going in with my 350M palette. I'm using the light brown warm shade that I use in my crease to start off with. I'm now going in with the light plum shade and the darker brown warm shade as well. I'm not doing this in any particular order. I just want it to be very smoky and very prominent. I'm not doing this precisely at all. As I said, I want it to be smoky. I want it to be a bit rough. As I said, I want it to be quite cutting edge and edgy. So I'm not focusing too much on any particular area of my my lower lash line. I'm just running that all the way through, making sure that I bring it down as far as possible. And this for me personally, it opens up my eyes and it kind of covers the creases that I have under my eyes as well, which I despise. So yeah, I do bring it down quite far. I just think it adds to the smoky, sultry look. You just got a double wig there. How cringy. I do double wigs quite often. I don't know what's wrong with me. I apologise. You can read me to filth about that. I don't mind. But yeah, so I'm just going across with that on both eyes. I do incorporate a new brush, and it's the Sigme E25 blending brush. It's exactly like the E35, but I think more compressed, more compact, and slightly thinner and dense. I use that with the light brown warm shade just to make sure that it's sort of all fluffed out and diffused. I do go in a bit later with a green shade. It's from the Sleek Garden of Eden palette. It's a dark green, which I think matches very well with my eyes, and I thought it added a lot more depth to the look, and it was a little bit more creative than just adding the same shades from my lid onto my lower lash line. You can see there that I've just used it on the left side. I think it looks amazing. I love it. So now I'm just going to go in with the big Colossal mascara again and add it to my lower lash line. I did do my lips off camera just because I couldn't find the lip that I wanted to use, and ultimately I wasn't impressed with it, so I just cut that bit out. But I hope that you enjoyed the finished look. I will do a highlight and contour routine slightly later on, perhaps in the next 2 days you'll receive that, so that's where you didn't see it in this video. I will be doing that in a separate video. I do hope that you really enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe if you did. All of my Instagram, Twitter and Snapchat handles will be below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you very, very soon. Bye!